What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Bit of a late one tonight, but it makes sense because the Phillies game and the Sixers draft basically overlapped each other, and I had to do some editing after the Sixers, for Brodes, after the Sixers selected VJ Edgecombe from Baylor with the 3rd overall pick, and thank God there was nothing else that the Sixers did tonight, so it was basically just a 3rd overall pick, and I basically just, very easy, just with a breeze, getting the editing out for Brodes. And now we're here, recapping these past 2 Phillies games in this series against the Houston Astros, where the Phillies lose the first 2 games against the Houston Astros and lose the series in that fact. They got shut out twice. And that's not to say the Astros offense has done anything spectacular either. The Astros won 1-0 yesterday, and they won 2-0 tonight. So we've seen the starting pitching on display for the Phillies the past 2 days. Ranger was excellent last night. Yeah, of course, he gave up a home run, the winning run in the bottom of the 8th inning, but it's way past the problems that Ranger Suarez. He was wasn't even close to the list of issues that the Phillies were in last night's game. And Zach Wheeler threw a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings, but he battled, and he still only ended up allowing 1 run, and that's still even in air quotes, because it should have been an unearned run because it was an error by Trey Turner that allowed a run to score. So it should be an unearned run on the stat sheet for Zach Wheeler. Hopefully, eventually, baseball scorecards fix that, but who knows with baseball scorecards, they rule anything hits these days. So that is an earned run on the list for Zach Wheeler. And then Matt Strahm came out of the bullpen, allowed a solo shot, but your pitching realistically in these first 2 games has not been the issue at all. Has not been the issue whatsoever. It's your bats. It's your bats, obviously. And coming off of the high from the Mets series, should we expected the Phillies to drop a dud? And granted, I'm going to reiterate what a lot of, Phillies people are saying right now on Twitter after these 2 games. It's basically shares my same mindset on the team. Obviously, these first 2 games have been very frustrating. They are just watching your team go out there lifeless offensively, even though they have so many chances to score where your starting pitching is, going out there and being spectacular with what, Ranger Suarez did last night and what Zach Wheeler battled through today to keep it a 1-run ball game. Not being able to score runs, and especially when you have a boatload of chances, seriously, you have bases loaded top of the 8th inning from today's ball game with 1 out, with probably your best chances of driving in runs with Alec Bohm and Nick Castellanos, and probably the 2 ugliest at bats that I possibly could see in my entire life from Alec. Nick Castellanos was probably more ugly, but Alec Bohm just swinging at a pitch way outside of the fucking strike zone, and then Nick Castellanos just swinging at every pitch above the zone. It's just, once again, the glaring issue of trying to do way too much in the moment, and once again, the glaring issue of this team, and this goes to the point that many people were stating on Twitter, that as frustrating as this series is, because it is very frustrating seeing your team get shut out twice in a row, this series is not really going to tell you anything because we already know what the issues are with this Phillies team, and this series is not going to change that fact. We already know what this Philly, basically almost halfway through the season, we know what this Phillies team is. We do. Their starting rotation is elite. Their starting rotation is one of the best rotations in Major League Baseball. It's not going to change the fact they're going to have way more ups than they do downs. Now, a starting rotation is going to go through its ebbs and flows, but for the most part of this year, they've been going through a lot of ups. They've had a few downs, but mainly ups, and that's why they're one of the best rotations in baseball, and nothing's going to change that fact, and they proved it again in these first 2 games in Houston, limiting the Astros to only 3 runs in these 2 games. The bullpen is the bullpen. I mean, realistically, we haven't been able to see much of the bullpen in this series. Ranger, Suarez, basically, actually, they did take Ranger out of the ball game last night, if I'm not mistaken. He went like 7 2/3 innings. Kirkland came in through 5 pitches. So we've seen a few of the bullpen arms. You saw Romano today. You saw Strahm today as well. But pitching really wasn't the issue for you in this series. Yeah, Matt Strahm allowed the home run, which is really frustrating with the Matt Strahm experience. But it also just goes to your offense is fucking inconsistent as hell, and it goes through so many roller coaster moments where you're having a lot of fun watching the offense, and then you're just dreading watching the offense. You had a lot of fun for the most part in 2 of the 3 games against the Mets, watching the offense. And in these 2 games against the Astros, no way in hell. No way in hell I'm having any fun watching this Phillies offense even go to work. Because, like I said, the series is not going to change the issues and change the mindset that most of us have of this team, because most of us know what this team already is. And it was just in clear. I would say realistically, these past 2 series have clearly defined, obviously, what this team is. When they're at their best, they're doing what they did to the New York Mets. And when they're at their worst, specifically offensively, I guess you could say, when they're at their best offensively, they're doing what they did to the Mets. When they're at their worst offensively, are they getting shut out 2 games in a row? Probably not, but this is really, struggling to hit with runners in scoring position, blah, 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 struggling to put runs up on the board in general, and that's what we saw in these 2 games against Houston. And if you go to last night's game, they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They only had 4 hits on the night. Framber Valdez, he walked 4 guys, allowed 4 hits. You got to make him pay for that. I know it's Framber Valdez on the mound, but you got to make a guy pay when he's walking 4 guys at the office. And then for today's game, you had 7 hits. You out-hit the Astros today. You went 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and you went through a plethora of left-handers from the Astros. I think the only pitchers you have seen in this series from the Astros are not all of them. Abreu pitched yesterday. He's not a lefty. 99.9% of the pitchers that you have seen from the Astros in this series have been left-handed pitchers. And it also proves that this Phillies team cannot hit lefties. They just cannot. They really struggle against left-handed pitching. It is insane how much they struggle against left-handed pitching. It's not even funny. Even when you go to the bottom of the lineup, yes, Otto Kemp, he had 2 walks yesterday. Sosa went 0 for 2, but then you have Buddy Kennedy in the lineup. He goes 0 for 4. Buddy Kennedy's not going to really do you anything. Then you had Johan Rojas 0 for 4. It's just not going to do you anything there. And then for today's game, your bottom of the lineup, yeah, Marsh had 2 hits. Kemp had a hit. Stott had a hit in this game, but Bohm 0 for, Castellanos 0 for, JT 0 for. Bohm had a walk in yesterday's game. JT 0 for again. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough. That's the bottom line right there. It's not good enough. And if you go to all the chances that the Phillies did have in these past 2 ball games, it's absolutely crazy how many chances that they did have. Alec Bohm with a 2-out walk in the top of the first inning yesterday. Castellanos with a 2-out single. Nothing happens there. Top of the second inning, Kemp with a leadoff walk. Sosa with a single. Then Kennedy grounds into a fielder's choice where, Kemp gets, tagged out at third base. So you still have first and second and 1 out. Rojas strikes out. Turner flies out. Top of the third inning, Schwarber with a leadoff walk. Castellanos eventually grounds into a double play. Top of the fourth inning, Kemp reaches in on a throwing error. Sosa then doubles, so you have second and third, 1 out. Kennedy grounds into a fielder's choice. Otto Kemp gets thrown out at home. Rojas eventually ends the inning. Then you eventually start getting 1, 2, 3 innings. Top 5, 1, 2, 3. Top 6, JT reached in on a throwing error, and then Kemp walks. So you had first and second with 1 out. Sosa grounds into a double play. Top 7, Turner with a 2-out single. Nothing happens. Top 8, 1, 2, 3. And then top 9, Sosa got hit by a pitch when 1 out, but nothing happened there. So you had your chances. You had chances in the first, second, third, fourth, and the sixth. And then you had chances basically 75% of the game, and you weren't able to bring in any type of runners. Over 7 with runners in scoring position. JT 0 for 1, Turner 0 for 1, Sosa 0 for 1, Rojas 0 for 2, and Kennedy 0 for 2 in runners in scoring position situations. Turner 1 for 4 on the day yesterday. Schwarber 0 for 3 with a walk. Bohm 0 for 3 with a walk. Castellanos 1 for 4, JT 0 for 4, Kemp 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Sosa, he went 2 for 3, Kennedy 0 for 4, Rojas 0 for 4. Just not good. Just not good, and it wasted an amazing start from Ranger Suarez. 7 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed, which sadly was the home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to give the Astros the winning run. 2 walks and 7 strikeouts on 101 pitches. His ERA is now lowered to 2.08. Good stuff. It's great stuff from Ranger Suarez, and then Kerkering just finished off that inning. So it's just a complete waste. And today was basically more of the same. If you look through the entirety of today's game, let's see, Schwarber reached it on an infield single in the top of the first. Nothing happened after that. Then you have the Trey Turner, which should have been an error on the Paredes grounder. Should have been an out. And then, Pena hits a leadoff ground rule double. Paredes hits the grounder to Trey Turner, which should have been out number 1 and would not have allowed the runner to score. But instead, that's the case, and then Wheeler eventually retires the rest of the side. Top second, you go down 1, 2, 3. Top third, Marsh with a 1-out single. Nothing happens there. Top 4, you go down 1, 2, 3. Top 5, Bryson Stott with a single, Kemp with a single, so you have first and second with 1 out. Marsh strikes out, Trey Turner strikes out. Top 6, Phillies go down 1, 2, 3. Top 7, Phillies go down 1, 2, 3. Top 8, this is the ball game right here. Marsh with a 1-out single, Trey Turner with a 1-out single, which moves Marsh to third base. Kyle Schwarber reaches in on an infield single. The ball was hit to Christian Walker at first base. He tried, to try to get Marsh going to home, and Marsh decided to hold up, go back to third base. Then Christian Walker, there was nobody covering first base at the time, so basically everybody was safe. He tried to go to second base, but, realized he had no time to make that play. So everybody was safe in this situation. Then you get to the situations with the Bohm and the Castellanos at bats. Bohm, 8-pitch at bat, took the first 2 strikes basically, fouled off a couple of pitches, became a 2-2 count, and then he strikes out on a ball way outside of the zone. A fastball, just here's a strike zone, here's the pitch he swung at. It's crazy. So he strikes out, and then Castellanos swinging at every pitch possible, was a 4-pitch at bat, he fouled off 3 pitches, and then he ended up grounding out. Just crazy. Just really bad at bats right there. And then Strahm allows the 2-out home run to Carantini, and that basically seals the game. Josh Hader came in, got a 1-2-3 inning, closed out the ball game. Offensively, stat lines from tonight's game: Trey Turner 1 for 4, Kyle Schwarber 2 for 4 with 2 infield singles. Alec Bohm, he went 0 for 4. Nick Castellanos 0 for 4, JT Realmuto 0 for 4, Stott 1 for 4. He actually hit a very deep fly ball that died right at the warning track in center field, so sadly it was the dimensions at the ballpark. Edmundo Sosa 0 for 4, Otto Kemp 1 for 3, then Brandon Marsh 2 for 3, 2 hits against the lefty, very surprisingly. Phillies 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Zach Wheeler's stat line on the night: 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Should not be an earned run. 3 walks, 8 strikeouts on 100 pitches. Zach Wheeler, he battled in the first couple of innings, but then he really settled in nicely and put you in a position to stay within the game. Romano came in the 7th inning, did his job: 13 pitches, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and then Matt Strahm allowed the home run in the 8th. Just offensively, just can't do much. Just did not do anything in these first 2 games. Just haven't done anything. And then that also kind of leads to, realistically, because Jason Stark actually had a interview. I'm not sure if it was just an article. It was also on the Jason Stark's podcast. Had an interview with Dave Dombrowski, realistically just talking about the trade deadline and all that stuff, and this Phillies team and like where realistically they need upgrades, and some very glaring comments that some people that listen to the podcast and read the articles that are really paraphrasing a lot of the stuff. And because I don't have the access to the articles, I don't go for the paywall, and a lot of just the words from Dave Dombrowski in some of these quotes, paraphrases from these tweets, from the article, just really gets under my skin. And it's the same Dave Dombrowski talk. There was points bringing up about Bryce Harper, going up to Dave Dombrowski saying that I will willingly move to right field if you bring in a right-handed power bat to play first base, specifically talking about Pete Alonso as well. I believe that was a person that was brought up, and then Dave Dombrowski eventually did not do that. Talking about we feel like we have a legitimate chance to win, blah, 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 blah. And then Dave Dombrowski said on Starkville that when your team is good, you may give up a little bit more at the deadline than you would want to make the right deadline deal. What else? And then Devon Caney of WIP paraphrased from the article and the podcast saying Dombrowski's rotation is very good, and he is not looking to address his lineup, he said, because we like where we're at right now. He also hinted he could find position player depth in the farm system. And then also Alex Call of WIP also put this out there. Phillies, a lot here from the article from Jason Stark. Phillies' Bryce Harper approached Dave Dombrowski about adding a right-handed bat. Well, Bryce Harper said that. Dave Dombrowski said Bryce will be willing to do whatever it needs to be done, and that's one of the many things that are great about him, but I would really prefer him not to do that. Meaning, going out and playing right field so that the Phillies can bring in a first baseman, right-handed power bat. Dave Dombrowski is focused on adding a strong bullpen arm and turning his starters into relievers. We can also see Justin Crawford soon, ? That's just paraphrasing from Alex Call. It's just how I just want to know what Dave Dombrowski sees in this team that realistically says that, yes, this is a World Series caliber team. And then also Tim Kelly from On Pattison also wrote an article talking about, Bryce Harper going back to the outfield, saying that he would really prefer not doing that. So looking at this entire article, Bryce Harper gave those who cover and follow the Phillies a gift in March when he revealed to Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic that he had told the team under the right circumstances he would return to the outfield. Then basically just summarizing, get the right bat, I'll go to the outfield, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, the Phillies didn't do that. Then Tim Kelly puts out what Dave Dombrowski said. Well, Bryce has said that. Bryce, what I really just said in one of those tweets, realistically. He's willing to do that. I prefer he not do that. He also says Bryce adds a lot for us at first base right now. Again, I don't want to ever say never, but I would say that it is not likely that Bryce moves back to the outfield. Jesus Christ. I just don't understand what Dave Dombrowski sees with this team. I really just I don't see it, man. I just don't see it, man. I just don't. I don't see it. Like, what does he realistically see with this team that, internal things are going to help right here? Everything that you've been trying to do internally by bringing up guys like Weston Wilson, then replacing that with Buddy Kennedy, and then always trying to find a platoon with fucking Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I don't know what he sees with the construction of this lineup thinking that, yeah, this is a team that's going to win a fucking World Series. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is the team that's going to win a World Series. Just got to get hot at the right time. That's also something that Dave Dombrowski said earlier in the year. We just got to get hot at the right time. It's all about getting hot at the right time. Yeah, that's the way to build your fucking philosophy of a team. Jesus fucking Christ. Holy shit. I don't know if that's smoke screens or anything like that, but from what Dave Dombrowski, he has been giving Phillies fans the most lukewarm blue ball trade deadlines possible, to where Phillies teams that realistically should be going all in to win a World Series don't go all in. They just get marginally better, and they just hope they get hot at the right time. And yeah, just not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan of what Dave Dombrowski said. Not at all. So, obviously. And then tomorrow, it's the finale of this game. Quick turnaround. It's a 2 o'clock start on the East Coast. It's going to be Christopher Sanchez against Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown's the best pitcher right now in the American League. So, yeah, I would realistically expect the Phillies to get swept. Realistically. But the Phillies really do not make sense. They don't score runs in any of these two games. They're probably going to pound Hunter Brown into the sand. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This team does not make sense. But realistically, the most likely outcome, they lose tomorrow. And they get swept. But I also would not be shocked, because, like I said, the Phillies don't make sense, and they pound Hunter Brown. Like I said, any outcome is possible with this team. Realistically, any outcome is. So, get to the Anytime Hotline. We do have a couple of voicemails here. We got one from Sean. We got, not Sean, we got one from Steven. Got one from Zach. And a couple of text messages from Steven and Zach as well. So, Steven. Let's get to Steven.
So this was just a pathetic series by the Phillies so far, not scoring any runs. I mean, it's just so frustrating. And then I hear Dombrowski go on the radio this week on 94 WIP and basically said that he likes where the team's at. Dude, they didn't score one fucking run in 18 freaking innings, and you're going to sit here and fucking tell me that this team doesn't need changes? It's pathetic, man. They need a Jarren Duran. They need a Brent Rooker, even like a Joe Adele or Taylor Ward. Anything with power. Rojas has a 580-something OPS. He's terrible. You cannot keep running that bum out there every day. Marsh sucks, too. Max Kepler is decent at best, but he's not the long-term answer if you want to win a World Series. You're not going to beat teams like the Dodgers in the playoffs like this. You're not going to win a World Series like this. And it's just downright pathetic, and I don't trust this bullpen either. But the pitching was great in this series. Ranger got robbed in that first game, and Wheeler battled tonight. After throwing 44 pitches to get the first 4 outs, the guy goes 6 innings, gives you 8 strikeouts, and honestly, he doesn't really give any runs up. Trey Turner's error is what cost him that 1 run. So, I mean, this offense needs changes. I mean, to win a World Series, they're going to need to go out and get a guy like Brent Rooker or Jaron Durant.
Well, in terms of Brent Rooker,
You know,
I don't
so
think
this,
I don't think that's happening. Didn't the A's lock him up? I think I doubt they're going to trade him. But you never know. It's the fucking A's. Yeah, they just need a right. They need power. They need power in this lineup. They need, and also from the right side, from any side, they realistically can use power from. That's just not Kyle Schwarber. They just need power. They just need fucking power, and also a right-handed bat. They need a lot of things in this lineup, and Dave Dombrowski just refuses to realize that. Maybe it's also coming from John Middleton as well. I just don't understand what you think internally is just going to help this team push them over the top to win a World Series. I just don't see that happening. You need to make trades to fulfill this lineup, and I just don't think that's going to be the case. I just don't. So, I don't know what they're going to do. But Dave Dombrowski, once again, just likes pissing off Phillies fans with his very stupid approaches to, talking about this team. We got Zach's call here. We got the Zach.
There's nothing you can do to fix that. No move you're going to make. Nobody you can bring in. That is the Phillies offense at its worst for 2 games right there. And it's just an absolute shame for our pitchers, man. That is shameful. It just makes me sick as a baseball guy to watch Ranger go out there and he's making plays left and right, comebackers and all this, and then Wheels goes out, has a heck of an effort and a performance tonight. Just don't score shit. I mean, you're getting here through the late innings. Last night, I guess they gave up the run in the 8th inning, whoever the hell that was, that hit that off whoever. I don't even remember, man. It's been so bad. But tonight, when Josh Hader comes to the game, you're like, oh, forget it. I mean, we didn't have a chance if, some random dude came in here, but you got Josh Hader, he's 21 for 21 this year. Hey, Dave Dombrowski, that would have been a nice guy to bring in, but, you need bullpen, but the lineup is unfixable. It's an absolute disaster at this point. It's atrocious. Really hard to watch. And, I really doubt they salvage this next one, but since it's the Phillies and nothing makes sense, they might do it. All right. Under 2 minutes. Go Phils. Peace.
Yeah. Your offense is what it is at this point. They're extremely hot and extremely cold. It's been like that for the past so many years. And nothing you do internally is going to change that unless you go and make a trade that brings a different bat to this lineup. And Dave Dombrowski just seems not to realize that. I just don't understand why. Steven also sent a text in yesterday with a picture of Johan Rojas saying this clown's gotta go. Oh man, what the Phillies do to us, boys. What the Phillies do to us. So, quick turnaround tomorrow. Sanchez on the bump against Hunter Brown. Hopefully, it salvages anything from this series, but realistically, this series is just a fucking annoyance. That's really it. And then you have, after Houston, you go to Atlanta for 3 games. Then you're home against San Diego for 3 games, Cincinnati for 3 games. Then you're on the road against San Fran and San Diego right before the All-Star break. And with the Braves and the Mets, actually, I think the Braves won the first 2 games and the Mets just won today. And I think tomorrow is the last game of that 4-game series. So we'll see if the Braves win that series 3 of 4 or they'll split with the Mets. So we'll see. We'll see. But that'll do it for tonight, everybody. Wanted to make sure I got this out for you guys. And managed to do it in a reasonable fashion here. So, yeah. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be back here after tomorrow's game. Same old stuff. And still update for Friday for the NHL draft and all that stuff. I'm still figuring out what I'm doing most likely. I still think I am going to Atlantic City for the Flyers. draft party thing. I don't know if I'm going to be with Snow the goalie or not. Sounding like I might be with Snow the goalie in their situation with the War Room, so just playing it by ear. I'll see if I'll be able to stream it here if that is the case with Snow the goalie, but like I said, you'll see something, and you'll see some notification in your subscription feed. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. You can use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. So, yeah, Phillies, not fun. Appreciate